because you know me, basically, I've been working in the community, you know, like the nonprofit thing for a minute, right? A lot of people, they come up to me and they're like, they're interested in business, or they're interested in tax, or they're interested in whatever they're interested in, you know? And I realized that there's a limitation on the amount of people that I can help, because it's like, I only have so much time in a day, you know what I mean? So one of my goals with this thing is to scale the impact. So for example, I might be able to have a conversation with you, and then instead of maybe just 2 people benefiting from it, now, you know, 200 might benefit from it, you know? And the second thing is just continue to build a network, because I realize, like, if you're interested in business or whatever you want to do, like, the more relationships you have, the more opportunities that's going to create for you, you know?
Yeah.
So that's really, like, the 2 goals. You know, I want to take it slowly, and, you know, inshallah, is going to get somewhere, you know?
Inshallah. Yeah, I think you're on the right track.
Yeah.
And I've also seen your work on Instagram. You know, I always tell people, like, when some young kids would ask me, like, hey, how did you open your business? How did you get started? How did you get this far?
Yeah.
1, start.
Step number 1, yeah.
2, be known for that. So if it's for cooking, everybody knows I've been cooking since, like, 8th grade.
Forever,
Like, if you go backtrack my Facebook, Instagram, whatever, you'll see some content, me cooking.
Yeah.
You know?
From back then.
Yeah. And honestly, like, you've determined, you've showed that, you know, that's where your heart is.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know?
That's true.
It's a given.
Easily. It just puts it's like people are going to be able to understand where your heart is. And I realize that it's like you gotta commit.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's really what it comes down to. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, they're like too fluid. Even myself, bro, I was experimental, but I think one thing that I committed to is that I wanted to build something for myself.
Yeah.
I think regardless of like the direction that I ended up taking, you know, whether it was in like nonprofit, whether it was in like for-profit, whether it was like travel, tax, clothing, I always knew I wanted to build something for myself, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like that's what I was consistent in, you know? But yeah, so I want to thank you for joining us today.
Of course, man.
I want to welcome everybody to the first episode of the Chosen Few podcast. Today we have a very special guest with us, Genemo Ali. Thank you for coming on the show, Genemo.
Yes, sir. I don't know about special.
Well, we'll get into that. Well, today, as you guys can all see, we're in downtown San Diego. We're at Ali's Chicken and Waffle. It was founded by my guest today, Genemo Ali. So I really want to thank you for taking time today and for allowing us to come into your space.
Yes, sir. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course. So can you tell me a little bit more about Genemo? Who's Genemo?
Well, it goes way back, about 30 years.
Okay.
But alhamdulillah, you know, I was born in East Africa to a big family.
Okay.
I have about 16 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
Alhamdulillah, it's a huge, huge family.
Yeah.
And, you know, my dad, like many East African parents, he had 2 wives.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've always been surrounded by a lot of love, a lot of support. You know, I never had to go nowhere for any kind of love.
Yeah.
It's always been in my house.
I mean, with 16 siblings, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You don't have enough.
I'm like third to last.
Third to last. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can imagine, like my older brothers are like 40, 50. You know, have kids and grandkids and stuff. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And my dad, you know, he has about 57 kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids.
Wow.
More than 57.
That's a whole tribe, bro.
Oh, it is, man. And the funny thing about that man, he, well, first of all, under God, you know, that's him. You know, he's always my.
After God is your parent, your
sir,
father.
Yes, sir. And it's been my social inspiration, the rock to my family. Never leaves anybody behind.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of kid it is, his grandkid, great grandkids. You know, now he's retired. All he does is like call his kids, grandkids from different countries.
Always calling.
South Africa, Dubai, this.
My grandma's the same way, bro.
Exactly.
Like literally, all she does is she sits at home and. I say she controls the whole world from her couch, you know, because she's literally like WhatsApp calls, everything, just making calls around the world, you know?
Exactly. It's just all positive. He's a very hardworking man. Back in his days, he's been, you know, a great businessman.
Definitely.
But he went through a lot of regimes, a lot of Oromo, you know, businessmen and politicians, and just as an Oromo,
Yeah.
you go through a lot, especially coming from Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Oromos did not leave their country until like 30 years ago. That's
Yeah.
when the last regime, the
Yeah.
one that just fell, came in. So he was pretty wealthy. Even when I go back right now, and I
Go back to Ethiopia?
Ethiopia. Well, I only went once.
Only
so
went
I
once?
made it seem like I go back every.
Nah, even
every
once is enough, man. That's a great experience.
I
yeah.
saw that his name was up there. If
Okay.
I said like I'm Hassan's kid,
Yeah.
everybody knew
You
Hassan.
see, like, the way people resonate to hearing the name and
Yep.
the way people respect it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have to get a respect, like a
Okay.
residual respect,
Yeah, yeah.
So that was amazing. So I was brought up in that kind of household.
Yeah.
He was very like a military style dad.
Structured.
And then, and he controlled all 16 of his kids.
Yeah.
And he didn't
I mean,
play.
I think it requires a little bit of discipline. Not a little bit, a lot of discipline to be able to raise a family of that size, right?
Yeah, definitely. And he never like saw his parents. He was like brought up by someone else because his parents passed away when he was young.
Yeah.
So his family is all he has.
Okay.
So, and I learned a lot from him, how he handled things, how he handled different people.
Yeah.
Even it didn't matter what their differences and stuff was. So I learned a lot from him.
Did you said he was a businessman as well?
Yeah.
What role did his experience and his past play into you actually trying to be an entrepreneur?
So the timeline was like completely different. So
Okay.
when he was a successful businessman and had all that money, I've never even seen it.
So you never witnessed it? Okay.
No.
Okay.
I was one of the younger kids.
Yeah.
So I only hear stories.
Okay.
But those stories,
Yeah. From him or from like your older siblings, or a little bit of both?
all the siblings, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Yeah.
So as a young boy, you always want to be like your dad.
Of course. Yeah.
And what he did was never wrong. Well, like
it feels like he could do no wrong. I get what you're trying to say. Yeah.
So I wanted to continue his legacy.
Yeah.
I mean, everything and anything he does is for his family. I don't think he does anything for himself or.
It's like a selfless personality.
Very selfless. All family. His identity is his family.
Okay.
And that's what I want to replicate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's
he
what
set the blueprint for you.
Exactly. And that's what I see a lot of. I might go off tangent.
No, you're good.
And that's when I see a lot of East Africans, Muslims, here in America, in San Diego, doing some stupid stuff.
Yeah.
I've done stupid stuff too, but I snapped out of it because
I
didn't
mean,
feel
we all gotta have the experiences to make us get into the place.
I didn't feel comfortable doing that stuff. I was outside of my culture.
Yeah.
And outside of my religion.
What did it take for you to wake up from making some of those?
I have no
mistakes?
idea. It's just that it didn't make sense. I'm here temporarily. This is not really my country.
Yeah.
I'm here to work and go to school.
Yeah.
And not to bullshit. You know what I mean? Like there was a rough.
You gotta make something of yourself.
There's a rough background, bro. Like we're not here to play.
Yeah. We're not here for fun and games.
No.
Yeah.
So like that's when you look at your family. When you listen to your dad's story, uncle. Okay, what is it that is so wrong in your family?
Yeah.
That you gotta go out there and do these drugs and do this and do that. What is it?
Yeah. What led you to that point?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What is so wrong about your culture that you have to assimilate to a negative culture?
Yeah.
Our culture is something to assimilate to, not from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. It's one of those off-tangent things that I...
No, it's definitely... I mean, it plays a part into the journey that you took that led you to where you are today.
Exactly.
So,
alhamdulillah, we have great families. As East Africans, as Africans, colonizers, one of the things that they try to do is demasculinize... I don't know if that's the word. But, take the masculinity out of the household.
Yeah.
And then just kind of, mess up the family.
Yeah. So I don't think it's just even, with colonization. I think it's really just with the dynamic of minority communities in general.
Oh,
because if you look at even a lot of the minority populations here, a lot of the families had the male figure removed from the household, and that's something that played a drastic role in the dynamic of the children. And you could really see that when you talk about your father and the way he raised your family and the role that played in what you ended up becoming or the kind of person that you ended up becoming.
Exactly. So, to go back to your question on how he played a role in your, it wasn't like a a script given to me like, you'd be like your dad.
Yeah.
He's always supported what I wanted to do, you know? As long as I went to school and become a good person.
Yeah.
He never said, go out there, make money or nothing.
Yeah.
Just pray your prayers,
yeah.
Be a good person and work hard.
So you said as long as you go to school. I know a lot of African parents, they have they really love the education and rightfully so. So tell us a little bit more about your educational background.
Yeah, so I went to San Diego State University.
Aztecs.
Yeah. So I graduated from there 2016.
Okay.
Business marketing, minor in Arabic.
Okay.
And then right after that, I went to management. I was working at Kohl's department stores.
Okay.
That was a good job.
When you were getting your business marketing degree, what did you envision utilizing that for? Did you envision getting corporate job and just doing that, or you always had something else planned?
So I do this thing where in my life, I'm going to do what's the tradition, what is recommended.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do what I want to do. You know what I mean? If it doesn't work out.
Yeah, so, that sounded like me, man.
Yeah, so I did school.
Yeah.
Okay, it was cool. I liked it. I got my degree. Got a corporate job.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't there. Like, I was there, like, it's a salary. I was, doing 12 hours, 15 hours, or whatever.
Yeah.
I was changing the store, whatever. But at some point, I was stagnant. I wasn't able to communicate my idea of what business should be.
You didn't feel comfortable in the position?
Nah, not really. I felt insignificant. I was just there.
Yeah.
Telling people what to do because somebody else told me what to do.
Yeah, you were
to tell them what to do.
You were middlemaning the management.
Yeah. So I didn't feel creative.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I know nowadays, tech jobs and stuff.
Yeah. Everybody wants one.
Yeah. And I know, once you signing bonus is like 50,000 and shit.
Yeah. They get money. They get money.
Yeah. But back then it was 2,000.
Okay.
But I had to stay for a year.
To get that 2,000.
Yeah, they already gave it to me.
Okay.
I would have to return it if I don't wait.
Yeah, they always do that. They got a stipulation where if you don't stay for a certain amount of time, we're going to need that back. Yeah.
And it was like the 11th month. I couldn't stand it. And I gave him 2 month notice.
Wow.
Of I got to go.
Yeah,
I got to do my own thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I gave him my 2 month notice.
When was that? When you stepped away?
It was 2017.
2017, okay.
Yeah, and August 2017, I remember. And, the entire 2 months, decided, they wanted me to stay. I did good, alhamdulillah. And after I left, I've always wanted to get into the coffee business.
Yeah.
So I went back home with the money that I had.
Yeah.
It was about like $3,500, whatever.
Yeah.
And when I got there.
Was that your first time going back since you came as a child?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I came in 2005. I was 11 back then.
11 years old. Wow.
Yeah. So, and then when I went back, it was different. At that time,
way different, yeah.
Ethiopia was going through transition. And I wanted to get into coffee business, so I was talking to different people.
Ethiopia is known globally for their coffee too.
Oh, we're like number one coffee spot in the world. Yeah.
So that's a good place to go, and you already had natural connections there.
Oh yeah, and my uncle has naturally grown coffee, organic coffee.
He has an organic coffee farm.
It's not even has. He was born into it.
Wow.
It's very natural. It's organic. How you see trees on the hills and stuff.
Yeah.
That's how it grows over there.
Okay.
You just gotta own the land.
Yeah.
And I have different family members that have, the processing plants, and I have different family members that, do the importing.
Wow.
But what I thought was, since I was Oromo or family, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll get the green pass. You
thought you would get the red carpet treatment.
Yeah, but it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
They were not even talking to you.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because they're that business is not easy. It's the black gold over there. So
they're not gonna just let you in and.
Yeah, they were respectfully listening to my ideas.
Yeah.
Because my idea was social entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So the profit won't be just the money. The profit will be impact.
The impact that you're actually doing, yeah.
So
social enterprise is huge.
Exactly. When I explain to some of them, it's it doesn't make sense.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
We're here to get some money, man.
Yeah. So what they know is they're gonna make the money and they'll give the sadaqah.
Yeah.
That's it.
But that's
charity.
off of their own choice. It's not off of a structured social enterprise.
That's what they know. But social enterprise, it didn't make sense to them.
And sadaqah is charity in Arabic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So another one is just being young, they don't really like to do business with young people.
Okay.
And
yeah, they like doubt you. They question if you have like the ability or the I guess doubt you is the best way I could put it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I didn't have this, the resources to move the ideas that I had.
Yeah. To make
like,
it
let's be realistic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, like when you're young, you want to do so much, but you don't know your limitation.
Yeah.
Which is good. So I had to just like humble myself. All the money I had, just family members.
Yeah.
Came back to zero.
Yeah.
And
so what did that look like when you came back?
It looked like it was a tough journey. I was like I literally was coming back to zero, nothing. I don't have a job. I don't have an apartment.
You just spent the money you had in Africa.
Yeah, and I'm here.
Yeah.
But alhamdulillah, there was a community member that is a businessman. I don't think he wants me to mention his name.
No, we don't got to say no names today.
But
yeah.
he helped me out a lot from the beginning to the end. So
Amazing.
he lent me some money. So I bought a Prius, started doing Uber.
Nice, yeah.
Hey, when in
that's
doubt.
what community's for, though. That's what community's for.
When in doubt. So I paid him back like in 8 months.
Yeah.
And then the opportunity to own a Thai food stand came about, and at the farmers market, a mutual friend, that knows the owner and that knows me, told her about me.
Yeah. And you always were interested in food, right?
Oh yeah. Always.
Yeah.
So a little going back to
let's backtrack how your journey with food. Yeah, let's take it there a little bit.
We talk about my dad. So he owned a lot of businesses. Some of the businesses were like bread factory and distribution, restaurants, land.
So it was in your blood.
Yeah, it was. I was actually like back home when you have your business.
Yeah.
Your residence is kind of in the back of the business.
Yep.
So I was born in the back of my dad's restaurant.
Wow.
So to give you a perspective.
So you were born in the back of a restaurant.
Yeah.
Or behind a restaurant, I guess.
Yeah. So it was like I didn't work in that restaurant, but it was like.
But it was always like you knew that in the back of your mind, like you always.
I wanted
knew
to do
history.
something. That has to do with business, but I knew I wanted to do something that has to do with food.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a restaurant. Food.
You just wanted to be
Initially,
somewhere
it was coffee.
in that space. Yeah.
Coffee was hard for me, but I knew I was good at cooking. And then, so like, somebody might want to go into a car business, and then comes out to become, number one. I don't know, like
rental cars or something.
So it doesn't like the industry is huge. So once you go into the industry, like I want to go in the food industry. Okay, what's in the food industry? There's coffee, there's drinks, there's restaurant, there's fast casual restaurant, fast food, there's fine dining. You could be a restaurateur, you could be a chef, you could be a cook, you could be a manager. There's like a whole. There's
like so many options within the same industry.
Exactly. Yeah. And I work. I don't know if you heard of Eddie V's in San Diego.
I did, yeah.
I worked there as a dishwasher, as a server. I mean, not a server, as a runner. So I was able to see different things.
Had some experience in the restaurant
and then
space,
I worked in a different restaurant doing brunch. I still when I was in college.
Yeah.
So this kind of like
it was like it was the build up to you actually.
Exactly.
So then you got the opportunity to purchase the farmers market, the Thai food.
Yeah, the experience was there. And then whoever introduced us knew that I got the experience. The lady wanted to sell her business or needed help. So when I was introduced to her, what I appreciate about her is like nowadays, there's as a African American, you're able to see like when you talk to somebody, if this person not racist, but like is he being respectful?
Yeah, like you can kind of read how they treat you.
Yeah. And then when she saw me, obviously she never knew my race or anything like that, and she was a very stern, old-fashioned Thai lady.
Yeah.
And when she saw me, it was all like, let's get to work.
Yeah.
You got to do this and this and this and this.
Yeah. Very structured. Yeah.
And then she was very like, one of those tiger mom they call them.
Yeah.
She was on you always. And alhamdulillah, I did good. Worked with her was tough. And then she offered to sell the business to me.
So you began by working with her.
Yeah.
And then she made you the offer to purchase it.
The idea was to find,
eventually get
the business, but she wanted me to see how hard the work is. Yeah,
so she was preparing you for the transition.
Exactly. For 7 months, I worked with her.
Okay.
And then that 7 month was October of 2018. No, October of 2019. I'm sorry, October of 2018.
2018.
Yeah, she offered to sell the business.
Yeah.
And at that time, I didn't have the business. I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
It was like more than like 27K.
Okay. To purchase
And
it,
yeah, and what she said was, you know what, you don't gotta give me the money, just pay me later.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and it's another thing that I want to go back to, like our community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is, about the system being against us. It was never created for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
To adjust it to us.
Yeah.
It's actually hard for them. You know what I mean? Because there's so much going on in that system.
Yeah.
That's gonna be so dark for even us to like start learning about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's been there way before us.
Yeah.
They know
but we
the
have
ins
a
and outs.
better system. At that time, my credit score was like 450.
Yeah.
And I had no savings.
Yeah.
I had no cosigner.
Yeah.
I had nothing.
Yeah. No
But
access to.
All she saw was my
opportunity,
hard
really.
work.
Yeah.
And she said
That was the credit. That was your credit. She saw your effort.
That's
Yeah.
it. And I paid her within a year.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was the system I created for myself.
Yeah.
You know
From
what
the
I mean?
hard work. You were
I
able
didn't
to
have
do that by your hard work.
I didn't have to rely on somebody else that didn't want me in their system. You know? Yeah. So that's one of those things. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So after that, so Ali's Chicken actually like came after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ali's Chicken. So tell me. So now you're in. I just want to set the timeline for us. So now you purchased that. It's been a year. You were able to pay her back.
Yeah.
So how did the idea for Ali's Chicken come? Were you transitioning from the Thai food, or were you trying to do something in addition to?
Yeah. So Ali's Chicken actually started after that Thai food thing.
Yeah.
I was simultaneously doing that.
Okay.
Yeah. And this Ali's Chicken stuff, I had like a extensive menu, breakfast menu. But I've always, so the idea was never like, okay, Ali's Chicken and Waffle, or this or that. It's more of like, how can we change the industry? So we got Chicken and Waffle, we got Roscoe's. We drive from here. Back then we used to drive from here to just
People used to go to
Chicken and
LA for
Waffle.
it. Yeah.
So one, why are they not here in San Diego? Two, why is it not halal?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because we have dietary limitations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, and normally, like when you make, like let's say American concept halal, it's usually not good.
Yeah.
For some reason.
I get what you're trying to mean.
You know what I mean? Like
I get what you're trying to say. Yeah.
I don't want to say not good, but like there's something missing.
Yeah.
So
it's not to the. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not to the level of the American that's not halal, right?
Yeah. So
like
having a halal
at it,
burrito
right?
might end up tasting like a shawarma burrito. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because whoever's making it, they're gonna make it the way
they're thinking of shawarmas.
Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I was, But when you look at the menu, there's a little bit of, fusion in there.
Yeah.
So I had, I could show you the menu. I emailed it to this lady that that could help me. I actually named it Food, Culture, and Coffee.
Food, culture, and coffee.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of like bring people together through the menu, but not crazy fusion.
Yeah.
But like something simple.
Yeah.
But then with the chicken and all that stuff, I thought I had a good chance with this, and I communicated the the idea to my roommate then, Opsa.
That's the homie.
Yeah. And that's actually how the Ali's came, because we both have same last name.
Yeah, his last name's Ali, your last name's Ali. Yeah.
So what people don't know much is like we started together. He had the money and I had the idea. Let's do it together.
Yeah, let's get this thing going.
Yeah, so we started in Alley.
Yeah. That was what, 2018? I think I pulled up when you guys were in the Alley.
2018, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of people pulled up, mashallah. Like the community was always there, all till this day. So that's my system.
Yeah.
The community.
Yeah.
You know, they're always there.
That's
bro.
the backbone behind
When
it.
you do something positive, the community is always there.
They're always gonna show up.
When you right now, I just came from a graduation.
Yeah.
The Oromo dude just graduated from UCSD.
Amazing.
He doesn't have his family here. They
So y'all
threw a
showed up for
graduation
him.
party for him.
That's what community is about, though.
You feel me?
Know, like,
so when you do something positive, they're always there.
they're gonna show up.
They're always there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, you know, the community came out, and I think on Twitter we had like a lot of impressions and stuff like that. The first day, actually, there was like a line out the alley.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So, but at that time, it wasn't sustaining the revenue that we were getting. It wasn't sustaining.
So the hype was there, but it didn't really make sense business-wise. Yeah,
we were in an alley. The alley, like it was a homeless guy right there, and it was like you remember the flies and all that stuff.
It was.
It's not the most attractive place. You know, the food was good. People loved the food, the concept. You know,
but it still was missing.
It was missing the money. We didn't have enough
to
volume.
actually take it to the level that it needs to be.
And it's two people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And you know, he's a CPS certified, so you can make way more than this.
Yeah, doing that than cooking in the alley.
Exactly. So, and at that time was exactly when I bought the Thai food business.
So the money you had, you put right into that one.
Yeah. So he actually at that time I didn't put much money into it. It was more of the labor and the idea and the equipment and stuff like that. So he went to Minnesota, and I went back to focusing to my Thai food.
Okay, so you guys closed it off, and
we just completely closed that.
Okay,
he
cool,
went, he went to Minnesota. I stayed here, and I continued doing my Thai food.
Okay, cool.
As an owner, so I decided to change everything on the Thai food menu to halal.
Okay.
So that is literally the only halal Thai food in San Diego.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you made that transition and the change
the
to the business.
I had the opportunity because my goal is that to kind of shift the industry.
Yeah.
You know, give options and stuff like
course.
that. So I had an option, and I used that. That's kind of where at least Chicken initiated. And then fast forward, honestly, I don't know if you have any, questions in between.
Yeah. No. We're here for the story. Yeah.
So when that happened, we just kind of closed down Ali's Chicken and Waffle, Minnesota, me here.
Yeah.
And fast forward, that year at the farmer market, it was tough. Yeah. For some reason, it was a very rainy year.
And what's the timeline right now? Are we?
We are still in 2019. 2019, yeah.
Okay, cool.
2019 was very wet. People probably don't remember it. I remember it because I was experiencing it outside, setting up.
Using the farmer's market. I had to set up a tent every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was raining on Sundays and Saturdays for some reason.
Wow.
Every single week.
I feel like I remember that. It was like every weekend was raining that year. Yeah.
And
I
I'm
remember
just like,
that.
that's so weird.
Yeah.
And then, alhamdulillah, but like towards the end, I paid her off, and then business started booming.
Alhamdulillah.
And I was just like, damn, this is good. Finally, So I told myself, 2020, I'm opening 2 restaurants.
Okay.
One Thai food, one Chicken and Waffle.
So you were like,
at the masjid, everybody asked me like, hey, where's the Ali Chicken and Waffle coming back?
We need it back.
Yeah, when is it coming back? When is it coming back? Every day. So it's like an affirmation, like a reassurance that this thing is gonna work.
Like
if it
there's
comes
opportunity
back.
there. Yeah.
So, 2020 January, I'm doing good. February, most sales I've ever done. I'm like
February 2020 was the most sales you've ever done.
Yeah, and then, bro, like I've March 21st, I think.
Yeah.
For that weekend.
Yeah.
Man, I prepped 40 pounds of chicken, noodles, all that stuff, like just ready to go for the market.
You were scaling up. You were expecting another busy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then this pandemic thing.
Yeah. We all know what happened in March 2020. Yeah.
So, and I was just like.
And you said you got 40 pounds of.
We have, man, everything to sustain 2 days of event.
Wow.
And then my market manager, she kept saying like, we're open air. It's not gonna close. Keep going. We're gonna come next.
So you were still confident that you would be able to sustain it,
yeah. And this is a Friday. By 5 p.m., we get an email. Farm market is closed indefinitely. Wow. And I was just like, shit. Everybody is like scrambling to get toilets and stuff like that. Me and my family are just sitting here. Like we got together because a whole pandemic is happening.
Yeah.
So told my family at least we got a good amount of food to eat. You know what I mean?
We don't got toilet paper. We got some food at least.
Exactly. So, and I was just like reflecting. And that was around the time like everybody you owe money start calling you.
Yep.
Stimulus, all that stuff. It's not.
It
in the
didn't
game
start
yet.
to trickle down yet. Yeah.
So I was, you know, just kind of like, the thing with me is when I'm in the most stressful situation, I tend to like joke around. You know, you don't
lighten
really,
the mood a little bit.
Yeah, you don't really ever, well, you know, as an entrepreneur, I feel like your mood changes.
Yeah.
But like, I remember
it,
like in the earlier stages, I don't really never showed stress. I just like joke around and stuff like that, you know?
You kept a calm.
Yeah.
Level head.
Man, like people were calling me like, hey, you know, I need some money and I need to pay people. You know, all that stuff that I prepped, it costs money.
So you put the money in, but you never got it back.
Yeah, it was a lot, and the goal that I had, like 2 restaurants in 2020, everything like kind of became dark. I've never ever, like I told you, like I come from a very big family.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love. So never lost confidence in my life. Always like I'm a confident person, you know?
Yeah.
But the pandemic is the only time that it got shaken.
It started to
bit.
feel a little.
Yeah, I was like, okay, are we gonna be sitting down for 2 years?
Yeah.
Or something,
and
you
your
know?
entire vision and plan and goals for what that would have looked like was.
And then Fatih, Officer's brother.
Yeah.
One day he posted, giving me a shout out, saying Genemo one day is gonna own like top restaurant in the middle of New York or whatever.
Yeah.
It sounds corny.
Yeah.
But I kid you not, that actually like made me think about what I could do.
It recalibrated you to.
Yeah, I was just like, okay,
there's potential.
And I go off of people's energy and vibes. You know, weirdly, more than calculation, I'd rather go off of people's vibes.
Yeah.
You know, and then.
Would you say you feed off of the energy that you receive from others?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think as a human, we all do.
Yeah.
We want to fake it. We act like we don't.
But it definitely plays a part.
Yeah. That happens. And once he gave me that shout out, I was just like, damn, okay. I didn't even respond to him, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I even told him this like later.
Yeah.
But I started selling food from my apartment. I don't know if you were one of my cousins.
I definitely was. Because I was sitting at the crib, man. I was getting tired of making food at the crib.
Exactly.
I was like, I think you posted on Instagram. I think you were doing the Thai food from the crib.
Yeah.
So you posted like I think I grabbed a plate of fried rice, not just for myself. I got it for the whole family.
Exactly.
Because everyone was sitting at home. I was like, yo, I need something different, you know?
Exactly.
So yeah, I definitely. I remember pulling up to the apartment and grabbing a plate.
Yep. So, alhamdulillah, I sold out like in one day.
Wow.
So I was actually.
So you sold out, when you say sold out, all the stuff that you purchased for the farmer's market.
Sold out.
You cooked it at your apartment and sold out from the apartment.
Yep.
Wow.
So I started shopping again.
Yeah.
I started, doing I'm back again.
Got that pep in your step again.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I guess I don't care about money.
Yeah.
Like at this point, I'm moving.
You wanted to feel like you're doing something.
Yeah. I'm just moving. And that was like, alhamdulillah, that was like a really good way of like, getting back in the grind.
Getting the energy back.
Yeah.
So I know
that's the community.
Yeah, the community gave you the backing. Because really it was just your Instagram you were selling from, right?
Yeah.
Wow, so you sold out from your Instagram only?
Yeah, it's literally friends and family.
Friends and family, wow.
For most part of my journey, it's a community.
Yeah, the community that
I didn't
had
have
your
to go that far.
Yeah,
By the way, like I went to Clark Middle School, Horaceman Middle School. I went to high school, Health Science Time. Some people don't consider that a high school, but I went to the high school.
We're going to consider it one for now.
And then I went to San Diego State. I never left
that vicinity.
Radius, never.
Yeah, City
never.
Heights area. Yeah.
Everything I needed was there,
So I wanna transition to what the next step looked like for you from there, because I know from that apartment you then transitioned to something called the Ghost Kitchen.
Ghost Kitchen, yep.
Which is something that was very popular, not just in San Diego, but I would say nationwide or even internationally during the pandemic, because that was an opportunity for people to, I would say, continue the business that they wanted to do without having to need the in-person traffic that a lot of businesses were relying on. So tell us a little bit how you got the idea for the Ghost Kitchen and what that next step looked like.
So, the pandemic, when the pandemic happened, I had a ghost kitchen in Imperial Beach.
Okay.
I was paying $1,500 a month. It was off the grid.
Yeah.
It wasn't an ideal location for a ghost kitchen.
Yeah.
But I needed a place to prep for farmers market and also do a ghost kitchen concept. And at that time, it was it only made sense for me to do that, you know?
Yeah.
And I tried it, but it didn't work as much. But it was already in the radar to do the ghost kitchen stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And when the pandemic happened, it was kind of like an embarrassing experience.
Yeah.
I couldn't pay rent. So I had to like ask the guy, you know, hey,
What's
I'm
going
sorry,
on?
but like, can I, you know?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he let me break the lease, and I was out of there.
Yeah.
But then the volume was so high at my apartment,
You couldn't sustain it at the
I
apartment.
couldn't sustain it. So with the experience or with the, I guess, the ambition of doing ghost kitchen not working out,
Yeah.
I was greeted with a different opportunity from a local business owner,
Yeah.
Minnehaha, and his kitchen became available.
Okay.
And that's when I moved my food to
That kitchen.
That kitchen. Another, you know, this is the system again.
It's the community again.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he, he, God bless his soul, he just charged me 10%.
Wow.
He just said, you know, whatever you're paying at the farmer market, pay me here.
Okay.
And I was like, 10%. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And then we did it like that.
Yeah.
And then slowly I started seeing that, you know, people asking about chicken and waffle. Chicken and
Yeah.
waffle. Are you going to bring
So
it
you were
back?
just doing the Thai food from the kitchen?
Yeah, I was just
Okay.
doing the Thai food, yeah.
Okay.
And then later on, you know, I was just like, why not the chicken and waffle?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm here already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I put the fryer in and I started doing the chicken and waffle. I started doing both concepts
So
from
you're
the
running
same
them
place.
together. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what Ghost Kitchen is.
Yeah.
You know, so I did the chicken and waffle and the Thai food, and you know, it was all. I mean, some opportunities come from weird situations.
Yeah.
And you know that buy black and you know the
The George Floyd and the riots around the time?
yeah. Stuff like I can't remember the name, but when that happened, it was, you know, there's a spike in sales.
Yeah.
You know, the community was coming up. Community was
There
realizing
was a
and
support
learning
for
that.
black-owned business?
Yeah.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
I think I call that people learning that we got a whole economy,
Yeah.
an economy that could lift somebody like me out
Yeah.
of, you know,
Circumstances that we
yeah,
came from.
and then get me to the next, you know, situation. So, you know, chicken and waffle kind of slowly started like the sale.
Outselling
Yeah,
the-
I was selling the, you know, the Thai
The
food.
Thai food, yeah.
Yeah, you know, on Uber Eats, on Grubhub, on DoorDash. It was outselling. I was just like, okay, this is a good opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's when I decided to look at the donut shop
To find a
and
location.
to just focus on one thing.
And there was, that's where Ali's Chicken and Waffles was born. The
yeah,
physical
like
location.
a physical location. Yeah,
Yeah.
And
It's
from there,
amazing.
man, it was a boom from the beginning.
From day
from
one.
the day one, it was selling out.
So we're gonna talk a little bit more about the growth of Ali's Chicken from that day. But before we get to that point, I want to ask you, what was one of the biggest lessons from that pandemic period, from the day that you got the email about the farmers market closing until, you know, the ghost kitchen in Minnehaha? What was the biggest lesson from that period?
I know this is like a more motivational and in a more professional, you know, podcast, but I just want to throw this out there. I go off of people's vibes,
Yeah.
but there's always a feeling that Allah gives you
Yeah.
that to keep going. There's a lot of countless times where I go to sleep,
Yeah.
give up, I'm not doing this shit again.
Yeah. He was like,
And then you
ready
wake
to-
up all refreshed out, you forgot about yesterday already.
Wow.
And that was like countless times. I feel as if at that time I was actually mentally not okay, but I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
I was just going with the
It
motion.
didn't really click with you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like right now that, you know, everybody's talking about mental health issues
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I'm okay, this is that. Okay, well, I feel like I had that, You know what I mean?
You know so you're like, oh, I might have been dealing with some mental health at that time, you know, because of everything I was going through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was just a whole bunch of surprises, no guarantee.
Yeah.
And then that's when
which will affect someone's mental health.
Exactly. So,
I think when it comes to going through challenges like that, it requires a bit of resiliency.
Yeah. Resiliency, man.
Yeah. Where did your resiliency come from? Was it from a trust in a higher power and a higher purpose?
Yeah, that's it.
That was it?
There's nobody it. I trust nobody. Like when it comes, you know what I mean? Like when it comes to like
it was fake
having not trust nobody as in like conducting a business with them. More like when it comes to where my future lies.
Yeah.
I've never said because of that person I'm gonna live this long or I'm gonna be successful.
Yeah.
He'll give it to you and he'll take it away at any time.
Yeah.
And we've seen this clearly with
every single time.
Every single time. No matter how much of a billionaire you are.
Yeah.
The money can't save you.
Yeah, you can't. No one can guarantee the money that you're gonna make.
Yep. So just being resilient, knowing that, like, you know, higher power got your back no matter what.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I've never heard somebody say, "I worked so hard and I failed." I've never said that. I've never heard anybody say that.
Yeah.
Don't work hard. I worked hard and failed.
Yeah.
No one says that.
Yeah.
So just keep going, especially when it doesn't make sense to keep going. That's when you really need to go.
When it's the hardest and when you feel like you shouldn't keep going, that's when it's the most important.
Really, like that's the shaitan saying, like, you know, that's, you know, because we go through, no matter what business you're in, you go through some spiritual motion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes you can't calculate moving forward because on calculation it says it's not good for business to keep going.
Yeah.
You're going to lose money.
You can't always operate off of, what's the word? Logic.
Exactly.
Sometimes you got to operate on faith.
You got to be unreasonable.
Yeah.
People are like, no, this doesn't make sense, but I'm going to do it.
But I'm going to do it regardless. You
know what I mean? And I think I communicate to you.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people say, you know, pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. There's a lot of, I mean, for 5 years, I feel like I never got paid. Almost like I pay my rent and stuff.
Yeah,
but
you were not seeing the fruit of your labor.
I am because you know there's a whole building. You know what I mean? Even then there was a whole location.
Okay,
that's the fruit of my labor.
Okay, but like actual, intangible, like something you could actually.
As an entrepreneur, you're not looking forward to the money right now.
Yeah,
you're looking for the system to work.
Yeah,
you know. And I mean,
what made you able to, because you said right now the fruit of your labor, what you're seeing is the expansion. Right now we're in your downtown location. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
This is the second location that you were able to open since your first location in City Heights. You're saying the fruit of your labor is the expansion, is the growth of the business. How difficult or how easy was it for you to commit to expanding and commit to the growth of the business and not to the growth of your own, let's say, pockets, for example?
Yeah, so here's the thing, like, at the end of the day, and again, I feel like you can't say these things nowadays because you look stupid, but the money's not going anywhere with you. My dad was super rich.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of rich people that went down.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know a lot of rich people that passed away. Their money did not do nothing for their kids, for them.
Yeah.
But if you are able to set a system, and if you're able to have an entity, an organization that can move, you're not just benefiting yourself, you're benefiting families.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not just you. So me, I'm gonna get my coin no matter what.
Regardless,
I'm already an entrepreneur. I know how to make the money.
Yeah.
But how about like having it be longer?
What is building this gonna do?
Yeah, what is sustainable?
Yeah.
Because if I pay myself first and make sure that whatever that my heart desires as a human being, if I was to take it out.
If you operate based off of that.
Yeah, if I operate based out of that, at least you're gonna have money because I want a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, I want all the money that comes in. I want to keep that.
That's true. You know, and that's going to end up actually shooting yourself in the long term. Yeah.
Exactly. So what you have to do is like, okay, is the business running? Am I paying gas? Am I paying my rent? And I get to give charity whenever necessary?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna keep going.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So we're in your downtown location. You're at 2 locations right now. You told me something a couple months ago about your vision for Ali's Chicken and Waffles.
Yes, sir.
Tell the audience today where you see this going and what's in store for you.
And then, inshallah, like, I could only dream. About 10, 15 years ago, this was a dream. Having this conversation with you was a dream,
Yeah.
So my dream is 2000 location, 20 years.
2,000 location, 20 years.
Yes, sir. And
Inshallah.
Inshallah. And obviously, I'm not doing it by myself,
Yeah.
And this is a realistic goal because Chipotle did it. McDonald's did it. Everyone did it. And they did actually, some of them did it at a shorter time. So it's a very realistic, goal with technology, with hoping that our community wakes up and, works hard in this, especially in this country.
Definitely.
And, we can make Somalia the next Dubai. We can make Ethiopia the next, I don't know, like
the next New York City. Yeah.
So, and geographically, we're good,
We're in a very strategic location.
Maybe the next 1,000 locations are going to be there.
Wow.
And I don't ever have to come back here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, inshallah.
I have.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I have one question for you, and I think we can close it off with this question.
Yeah.
You said it's possible because Chipotle did it, McDonald's did it, and a lot of other franchise locations were able to do it. What is it that made you compare yourself to a Chipotle and to a McDonald's and not to another Oromo restaurant or another East African restaurant that maybe only has one location?
The reason is these establishments, they were like when you look at their story, their story comes from, like there was a hardworking person, had an idea, believed in it, and went through it. The East African locations or whatever that we're looking at, some people, ask me, why don't you open an Ethiopian restaurant? I can. I'm actually a good cook.
Yeah.
But that doesn't give me a competitive ground to how far I want to go. You know what I mean?
Always saw the vision of it being something
bigger.
It
has to be something big. And if it fails, I'm gonna try again, but it has to be something big. And I never want to compare myself to somebody in the community.
Yeah.
I want to be somebody that adds value to the community. So me opening another Somali restaurant or Ethiopian restaurant doesn't add to the community. It's already there, But inshallah, and that's why. And these people, this corporation that did it, they were not like the smartest people, anything like that. They just did like McDonald's. They did not invent burger.
Yeah.
But they had a nice, assembly line or whatever, Burger King.
They brought something to the table that brought them to the next level.
Burger King copied McDonald's. That's literally what they did.
Yeah.
They just copied McDonald's. And
they said, this works, let's do it.
Yeah. And then Chipotle came up with something new. You know what I mean? And that was something that already exists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the person's not even Hispanic.
Yeah.
But it was something
with that
different.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's about it, And I think in business, no matter what it is, it's all about like just like you. You have a goal. You want to make an impact, but being at the office from 8 to 5, you can only accept as much people as you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
But on podcasts, you can reach
the impact,
like millions of people.
You can scale the impact.
Yeah, the impact is crazy, and these people are really good at scaling.
Yeah.
And I'd rather compete with them.
So scale was always the vision and the goal.
Oh yeah. Anybody could cook, but scaling is a whole different animal.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I really want to thank you for joining us today. I want to thank all the guests for watching. And inshallah, we'll see your 2,000 location in 20 years.
Inshallah.
All
Hopefully, you're one of the owners.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Genemo.
Yes, sir.